I am back once again on GalacticGod's channel. Sorry about the DevPro deck profile. I don't have much Ice Barrier stuff laying around at this point in time, so I went with the best resource that I had to do this deck. Now, it's been quite some time since I've actually had the ability to touch Ice Barriers. Me and Galactic God were discussing what we actually wanted to do for this particular deck profile. Ally of Justices were on the board, Mist Valleys, but I wanted to touch Ice Barriers because I've actually had a little bit of experience with this deck back in the day when you could soul exchange for General Raiho, and it was actually a good setup. So before I go any further, guys, my name's Mkohl40. To those of you that don't know, I'm a Yugi tuber, much like Galactic God himself. Me and him do have occasional video swaps, so you guys will see me every once in a while on here. Guys, do check out my channel. I do a lot of regional deck profiles. I try to get out news as much as I can. I'm the news central next to Cyber Knight and Vexicus4666 on top of posting other content as well. So do check out my channel if you do like this kind of content. I do have originality to some level, a lot of analyzing, things like that. Try to go in depth as much as I can at the current point in time. So guys, do check that out. But back to what I was saying about Ice Barriers. Ice Barriers, I went on Pojo. The deck style has changed, and I found a list on there on the Ice Barrier thread that I actually wanted to talk about for this particular challenge. Now, the main is verbatim for what the player on Pojo had posted, and I wanted to talk about the particular analysis of this deck for this challenge of Ice Barriers. So, credit is to the Ice Barrier thread on Pojo for this list. I did want to talk about it because I like the way that this deck has the ability to combo up on the current format and the things it can do. So, to start things off, Galactic God's version of Ice Barriers will be on my channel, so scroll on over there, check it out. And to those of you that don't know, Ice Barriers, they're the kind of deck that is slow. Now, when I mean slow, I don't mean god-awful slow. I mean, the deck takes 1 or 2 turns to set up combos. And that's the one reason why you don't see many Ice Barriers. Back in the day, General Raiho, I don't have it pulled up right now, but you would try to use General Raiho to burn out your opponent when their effects that would do damage to you. Now, granted, the Ice Barriers, you would try to use the triangle to special summon them, but there are many other ways of going about this particular deck and this current day and time. So, to start off, 2 General Guntala. The thing I liked about what this player did with this deck is he focused on the strengths of General Guntala. Yes, he is that level 7 guy, so you do have access to Big Iron Draco's Heck. The really unique thing about him, though, is once per turn during the end phase, you can special summon back one of your Ice Barrier monsters from the graveyard, except for General Guntala. Now, this lets you float back for any of your other Ice Barriers that would give you some sort of benefit on the next turn. Now, the real reason that General Guntala is good is because of title. You can drop any other water monster to send 1 monster from your deck to the graveyard. So you can set up General Raiho very easily. So you'll go Dragon plus any other water monster, and then you can bury the General. So effectively you are -2 at this stage in the game, but don't worry, because Ice Barrier, the Prior of the Ice Barrier will be there to save your day. But the thing that Prior does is you can special summon it. I don't recommend doing that, though. The thing that I like about Prior is the fact that you can tribute it off, special summon 1 Ice Barrier monster. But if you special summon it from your hand, you cannot special summon a level 5 or higher. So you can special summon it if you have another one, tribute it, go into level 4 for your auto ring 4 XYZ plays, or you can use this to bring back General Guntala and then bring back any of your other Ice Barriers. So it is a little bit of a dedicated combo with these particular cards needed, but the combo is very, very awesome when you do get things rolling here. Next up, the 2 Dance Princess. Basically, this will just let you lock out back row, things you really won't have to worry about. Yes, it is a bounce, but the thing is, you can bring this back off of the General for the floating 1700 beat stick, and it is a spellcaster. Next up, the 3 Strategist. Once per turn, you can send 1 monster from your hand to the graveyard to draw a card. Now, a lot of players, there isn't much more in the Ice Barrier clan for you to really use, so you are kind of dedicated to use Strategist for the sifting ability. Granted, not the best particular thing in the world, but nonetheless, you at least have a spell and trap card bouncer, and you have deck drawing. So you can use this to very easily drop a title if you've already got your combo set up, and then just draw another card, and then you can recur back title for the rank 7 XYZ plays if need be. Next up, to Aqua Spirit. The creator of the deck was talking about how a particular OCG card coming out in the future is going to be good. Right now, he was talking about how just Aqua Spirit is a floater for it. Aqua Spirit just gives you the remove one, special summon it for the rank 4 XYZ play. The new card coming out is the Silent Angler. Basically, if you control a water monster, you special summon this card from your hand, and you cannot special summon other monsters from your hand for the rest of the turn. Free XYZ plays. Very important. Once we do get Angler, Aqua Spirit will be replaced with that. Next up is the Defender of the Ice Barrier. He creates the interesting lock for this deck. It will protect your guys with its ability, which is very important. A lot of players don't seem to like that, but it is a one-of because it is relatively weak, unfortunately. And then next up is the Prior, which I talked about earlier. Like I said, its main functionality is to tribute it off, bring back Guntala, and then start the abusable loop that you can. And then this player also has the max season effect failures for the particular protection that you need for this deck. Next up, the one of Surface. Just free recursion back for this guy or this guy. Very important. The Dark Hole for generic removal. Something else Ice Barriers do have, they do have a Rhoda for any of their guys. So if you absolutely need to, you can Rhoda for something bad to drop with Title, or you can use Title to drop your Guntala, then you can Rhoda for the Prior to set up your play. Actually, pretty important combo that Medallion gives this deck, because like I said, you can also sift for the Strategist to start your draw engine. Also, to salvage, do keep in mind that these guys are relatively weak. Aqua Spirit is not a salvage target at this current point in time, but Angler is, so that will also prove to be important once we get things going on. 2 dualities. I thought about playing 3, changing this a wee little bit. I understood why the player played 2 though, because turn 1 you might not have the most optimal play in the world, but still very important to get to those combo pieces to make sure that you're set up. Also 3 MST for generic back row removal. Same thing with double lance to protect your setup once you get things going. For his defensive board, 1 bottomless. The player played 2 Dimensional Prison, which I did cut for 2 Mirror Force. I just find Mirror Force to be a more optimal card, especially when you're dealing with more than 1 monster in this particular format. The 1 Compulse, and then the 1 Solemn Warning brings us to a close on the main deck. Like I said, the deck is pretty combo oriented. There is another Ice Barrier deck that involves Ground Collapse and the Ice Barrier guy that blows out a monster zone, which I actually found was a particularly interesting combo, but I don't like the level of dedication that that combo takes. So the extra deck: Cowboy, Dweller, Laval Chain, Diamond Dyer, Black Ship, and Utopia. It's your rank 4 engine. I put a little bit more emphasis on the rank 4 engine than the original player had posted. I found it more appealing to me just because he had a lot more dedication for the level 7 engine, and the only level 3 tuner that we were playing was Defender, and I didn't want to put that kind of dedication on it, especially when I have more ways to get to rank 4. So I'd rather expand my toolbox. For the rank 7s, Big Eye, Dracosac, it's all you need. I am playing the 1 Catastor because you are playing the 7 level 4s, so Veiloring up with one of those 4s just gives you a free Catastor. Something unique about this deck though, the Defender plus 1 of these 5 gets you into Arcanite, which I also found very appealing. You are only playing the 1 level 3 tuner though, which you can reuse and search for, which gives you access to Black Rose and Gungnir as well. I also am playing a level 8 Synchro Toolbox with Colossal, Scrap Dragon, and Crimson Blader, just because of the Veiler, and you do have the 5 level 7s to gain access to that. So that is the extra deck. Some things I did want to mention for those that do play online. One of them is Jeweled by Dragon Archfiend, for some reason messed up in the update, but it is level 8, and once you're doing your main phase, you can destroy all other face-up attack position monsters on the field, and he can attack. He's a free 3000, he gets off other attack position monsters off your opponent's side of the field that is troublesome to you, so it's just free floating. The last one is Draco Ascension. Draco Ascension is that level 10 guy. He might not seem all that appealing to you, but you can turn 1 or 2, depending on your combo, go Duark with Tidal or Gantala into Draco Ascension. He will be 800 times the number of cards in your hand, and then if he gets destroyed by your opponent, you can bring back both materials to your side of the field. It is a floating 3000 wall. If your opponent's playing something destructive to you, you might want to put this in your extra deck, just because of the floatability of the card, just because it will get you back your 2 monsters on the next turn. So, yeah, this is the Ice Berry deck. This deck, I've been playing around with it a little bit. It is a lot of fun. Granted, your centralized combo is your go-to thing with Gantala and Tidal, but there are plenty of other things to do, especially playing the rank 4 game with your opponent, because you do have devastating cards like Dweller, Lava Chain to drop, Tidal, and you also have Diamond Dire to take out threats. So until your combo gets set up, you have a pretty good solid line of disruption. So this is my take on Mermails, though. Mermails, hahaha, Ice Barriers, guys. So tell me what you think about this in the comment section down below. Like I said, though, props to the Ice Barrier thread on Pojo for coming up with this list. I am going to mess around with Ice Barriers, though. I am a little bit more interested in the theme now that I've seen what it is capable of doing. The ground collapse theme idea as well, something else that I want to mess around with. But you know, you got to get those creative juices going by getting some sort of idea where to start. So guys, like I said, check out GalacticGod's video on my channel. While you guys are there, why not sub if you guys like the content that you see? And I hope that you guys continue to support GalacticGod and his adventures. So guys, like this video for GalacticGod, support him, and I will talk to you guys later on.